Lost in the fantasy, chasing these memories. It's like I can taste you. Jeez, this song is super. Yo, what's good? You already done know what it is. It's your girl Just Kimmy. I'm out here. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're already a subscriber, while Guan Virgin, you already done know what it is. I appreciate all the love and support. So what I'm going to be talking about in today's video is the first time I ever visited the doctor's office in Korea. It might be kind of odd that I'm talking about this, but I think it's kind of useful because you know when you're sick, you just always have that need that you want someone or you need someone to kind of nurse you back to health, whether it's your mom or your grandma. No matter how old you are, you just always feel so just kind of vulnerable and just really sickly and just really crappy. And especially being in another country, it might be like a little hard to deal with or a little rough. So I'm just going to tell you guys about my experience and what happened when I got sick in Korea. Before I get into this story, I'm just going to talk a little bit about kind of what I think how Koreans, or in Korea, how they perceive like a sick day. Like I would say like, yo, there's no such thing as a sick day. It would have to be classified as on the brink of death day, because like in my experience, like I was not able to get my sick day off unless I proved that I was actually legitimately sick and dying. Like there's no such thing as like, oh, I have a cold, and then you're gonna call in and be like, oh, I can't come to work today because I have a cold. You literally have to like prove that you're actually sick with either a doctor's note, your prescription, and some other things. Another thing is that when you're sick, be prepared to literally describe in grave detail how exactly that you're sick and what exactly is wrong with you and what exactly is happening with you. They're just totally open about a lot of things, and literally when you're sick and your sickness, they're really open about that kind of stuff. So let me just explain everything through this story of me visiting the doctors for the first time. So pretty much the first time I got sick in Korea is after I did the 2 times nuclear spicy noodle challenge. Like after I did that challenge, 2 days later, I just got super sick. Like I couldn't hold anything down. Like mans was on the toilet for days. Like I've never been that sick ever in my life. It was super devastating. Like it was super hard, and it was I didn't know what to do about it. Obviously you're like, oh, you should just go to the doctor, but you know at the same time it's kind of like nerve-wracking to go to the doctor. You gotta go on your own, you know, you might not have any friends to go help and go with you and stuff like that. So pretty much I got sick on a school day, and I had to call up my school and be like, listen, I'm sick and I can't come to school. And they hit me up with a, what do you mean you're sick? And then I'm just thinking, they're like, what do you mean I'm sick? I'm sick, so I can't come to school. And they're kind of like, you know what, school starts at 9, so you should come to school. And I'm just like, I think I can't come to school because I'm sick. So what ended up happening was I called my co-teacher to tell her like, I think I can't go to school today. I'm really sick. And she's like, oh, what's wrong with you? I'm just like, you know what, I'm vomiting and like I can't go to school. So what she did was she called the school for me, and she told them like, hey, listen, she said that she can't come to school because she's vomiting. And then she called me back, and the school was like, oh, you know, you still have like 2 hours until school starts, so maybe you can still come to school. And I'm just like, you know what, there's no way I'm gonna make it on that bus ride. I already get queasy on the bus. There's no way I'm gonna make it on that bus ride feeling the way I am. And then she called back, and then the school's like, oh, you should go to the doctor, get the medicine, and after you get the medicine, go to school. And I was just like, alright, like maybe if I go to the doctor and they give me some medicine, who knows, maybe I'll magically feel good after whatever kind of medicine they have there. So I'm like, alright. She's like, it opens at 9, so you should go there at 9. So I'm like, alright, I'll go there. So in Korea, there are these things called 119 centers. So 119 is like 911. in Korea. So they have like these 119 centers, which are pretty much just walk-in clinics, so you can go there without having a previous appointment. I live on Jeju, so not very many people can speak English very well, and I went there and I received the help that I needed. But I have heard of some places or some stories of people that I've known that they've gone to also one of these centers and they're just kind of like, oh, we don't speak English, like I don't know if we can help you, and pretty much they sort of got like declined. That has never personally happened to me, but I have heard certain situations where people have had tough times visiting the doctors. That being said, the receptionist at this doctor's office, she couldn't speak English that well, but she gave me this form to fill out, and pretty much I just had to fill out like my name, my phone number, my ARC card, which is like a permanent resident card in Korea, which says that I am living in Korea, and phone number and address. So, and also to ask if I had insurance and to put down my insurance policy number as well. So pretty much, if you're going to visit the doctors in Korea, you're going to have to know a little bit of Korean in order to fill out this form that they give you. And I think honestly one of the reasons why they didn't reject me and they accepted me, because I was just like in there all hunched over, literally looking like crap. Like, I'm pretty sure they felt sorry for your girl. So it took about maybe 5 minutes for me to fill out that entire form, and they're kind of like, oh, just wait here and the doctor will see you when they are available. I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. I'm also nervous because, you know, my Korean sucks. Like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm really hoping that he can speak enough English to help me, because I literally feel like I'm about to die right now. You know, I'm just like, man, I wish my mom was here. Like, oh my gosh. So in like 10 minutes, the doctor tells me to come in. He was a little surprised that I was a foreigner, because I'm assuming that especially the area that I live, maybe he doesn't see that many foreigners, because like in Jeju there's not as many foreigners as there would like in mainland Seoul or like Busan or Daegu. He was really nice. He asked me in English like, where does it hurt? And I just said, you know, my stomach hurts. And he's like, is that the only thing that's wrong with you? And I was like, no. And, you know, I pretty much described to him what happened to me and stuff like that. And he just like, oh, did you eat a lot of spicy food? And I was like, yes, I did. Pretty much just checked my stomach, and he can tell from that what was wrong with me. He spoke English enough to his extent, and then when he couldn't speak English, he started telling me things in Korean, which I had no idea what he was even talking about. He ended up prescribing me some medicine, and he gave me the prescription. And also for that doctor's visit, I paid at the reception after, and that only costed about, I want to say like $15 to go see the doctor, and it was really quick, it was really efficient. He did a great job. I was really comfortable with him. I didn't really feel strange or anything like that. So the good thing about this is the fact that usually a lot of the walk-in clinics also have the pharmacy either beside the doctor's office or underneath or above, just depending on how the building is set up. So I didn't have to go too far to go get my prescription. So I go downstairs now to go get my prescription, and I hand it into the counter, and the lady is just like, oh, I can't speak English, so let me go get the guy that can speak English and he'll go help you. And I was like, all right, you know. So he comes over and he's there asking me like, oh, hey, yeah, how are you? You know, why'd you come to Korea and where do you live? Just asking me a lot of the typical questions, like when you first meet someone, which is fine. Like at any other point of curiosity and stuff like that, I'll be willing to answer these questions. But at this moment in time, like literally I feel like crap, and I'm like really not in the mood to be talking to this guy and like answering all these questions. He was just speaking really loud. I was like, why are you yelling? Like, I don't know, he was just really amped to use his English, I guess. I was just like, chill, fam. So he asked me, oh, like, can you speak Korean? I was like, oh, just a little bit. He's like, all right, I'm gonna teach you some Korean, what's on the medicine package and how to take it. So when you get your medicine in Korea, well, what I've seen and all the times that I've been to the doctor, they usually give you the exact amount that you would need and how long the doctor has prescribed it for in little individual packages. So let's say if I'm taking three different medicines, they'll put each of those 3 medicines in a little package for each day and each time of the day. So when you run out, you're gonna have to visit the doctor again, and then you're gonna have to get it prescribed again and pick it up again for the amount of time that you would need it. On the little packages, it'll say like morning, lunch, and dinner. So it'll say like 아침, 점심, and 저녁, which I already knew what those meant. But you know, he insisted on teaching me the Korean for it. So you know, he just over there like, oh, since you don't know that much Korean, I'm gonna show you how to take this medicine. He's like, yo, you know 아침, he's like, yo, say it, 아침. I was like, okay, 아침. He's like, oh, that means morning, so you're gonna take this in the morning. And he's like, oh, do you see this? It says 점심. 점심 means lunch, so you know, say 점심. I'm like, all right, 점심, yo, that's lunch, take it at lunch. I was like, all right. And he's like, 저녁 means dinner, so you're gonna take it after your dinner. And I was like, all right. I was like, thank you a lot, man. And he's like, no problem. And then the whole time he was speaking, man, he was just speaking extremely loud. Like, you know, I'm just there trying to be like a fly on the wall. I'm not even trying to attract any attention whatsoever. I'm trying to get my medicine, get in, get out. And then I also had another medicine that was supposed to give me, you know, and he was just there like, all right, so do you have diarrhea? And I was like, yo, chill, fam. I was like, you know, the doctor prescribed me because, you know, based on my symptoms, I told the doctor, you know, so just give me my medicine. He's like, yo, do you have diarrhea? Because if you don't have diarrhea, then don't take this, you know? I was just like, alright, fam, chill. Like, yo, you lower your voice. You don't need to be telling everyone my symptoms, yo. Like, come on, man. His English was really good, but he was just yelling because I don't know if he thought I was deaf or what, but he was just really loud for no reason whatsoever. And then after that, he explained it to me. He's like, all right, you can go. But he's just like, you know, I hope you feel better soon, you know. He's just like, oh, have a good time. And just like, he was being so super nice, but it was just like so funny, you know. Just like, it was just like the wrong place and the wrong time to be trying to strike up a conversation with someone. So the next day I go to school. I'm still not feeling very well, but they told me I had to go, so I went and I brought them my doctor's note and prescription and everything. And at that point, they kind of realized the extent of my illness and how sick I actually was. Like, I just wasn't trying to just not take a day off of school. I've heard that some Koreans or some schools think that the foreign teachers, like on the weekends, especially if you're sick on a Monday, they think that on the weekend that we went out and drank way too much, and then like we're just super hungover on Monday, so we can't come to school. But when I showed them my prescription and my doctor's note, they kind of realized how sick I was, and they're kind of just like, oh man, if you're still not feeling well, then you should go home. And so I went home and I got my sick day. I go back to school when I'm healthy, and like my vice principal came and she brought me like some tea. She's like, oh my gosh, I heard that you were so sick, and you know, I heard, you know, you had some diarrhea. And I was just like, oh my god, bro. Like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm better, you know, I'm good, everything's good in the hood. And yeah, just so awkward, just plain out saying like, oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie, like you had diarrhea. Like, damn, like chill. Pretty much what happened to me when I ate the really spicy ramen noodles, I had like an inflamed intestines. Literally every time I ate, anytime I drank, like nothing was sitting well whatsoever. It was either coming up or going down, bro. I hate to be gross, but like that's just what happened. Like, y'all be careful with that Korean spicy food, man. It will tear you up, bro. So now I'm just gonna touch on some things about Korean healthcare. So I would say that before you come to Korea, if you are going to work here, you're going to stay here for a certain period of time, you should check on how you would go about getting your healthcare or visiting the doctor if you were to get sick. I think if you're going to stay here, if you're going to stay in Korea for about 6 months or more, you should really check into that. At the time that I was living in Korea, the way that my program did it was we paid for everything outright, and then we'd have to send our receipts for our doctor visits and prescriptions and stuff like that to our program, and then they'd reimburse us in some way. I personally paid for my insurance, which was about $90 a month, and I think I got like 60% or more coverage, just depending on the procedure and how sick I was and the medicine and stuff like that. And with my insurance that I bought for $90 a month, I was able to get like dental, either visit the dermatologist and the doctor's office and stuff like that. Without having insurance, I would say that it's quite cheap to visit the doctor in Korea. For my doctor's visit, I think I paid around $15, and then for my prescription I paid around $10. So altogether my doctor's visit costed around $25, and also it was really fast. I literally got my prescription and visited the doctor and that whole thing within 30 minutes. Like, it opened at 9, I was at my house, back at my house by like 9:30, resting and stuff like that. Also, before you visit a doctor in Korea, depending on whether or not your doctor can speak in English or not, it would be good to learn some phrases that will help you in the doctor's office, especially how to answer certain questions like what's wrong with you and how many times a day did this happen, or when does it happen, when did it start happening, and stuff like that. Anyway, I thought this story might be a benefit or help some of you guys living in Korea. I really hope that if you guys are in Korea, that you guys stay healthy and you guys don't get sick. But you know, if you do, hopefully you guys have a good experience visiting the doctor. Stay healthy and stay vibrant. You know, nothing but positive vibes out here. And that would be all for today's video. If you like this video, press the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, you know, give the subscribe button a defaz. Yo, you already know what it is, and I'm out.